Hey everyone, I'm Easy Schmidt, and it's Saturday today, so Shabbat Shalom. Yesterday I had a great Passover, for ate plenty of matzo balls and unleavened bread and lettuce dipped in salt water. Anyways, today we're going to do something a little creative today. We are going to convert a children's song into a Baroque song. So now that we have moved to my keyboard, my trusty Yamaha, we will now get started on converting a children's song into a Baroque song. First thing we need to do is think about what kind of song to use. I know, I'm a Little Teapot. That's a song that we're all familiar with, that we've all grew up listening to. We'll try playing it in A major on the piano setting. Okay, and another important thing to know then, with our first step on turning this into a Baroque song, for the sake of authenticity, is to know what kind of instrument was commonly played at the time of the Baroque period from 1600 to 1750. And before we move on with conversion of I'm a Little Teapot into a Baroque or Bach style piece, I'm going to take you back in time, though, well, just for a little bit, for a brief history lesson on the main keyboard instruments. The piano that we know today, its earliest forms, what came during the 1780s or 1800s, early 19th century, somewhere around that time, like post-colonial period, like after the colonies broke away from England, from King George. The earliest form of piano that we know today was called the pianoforte. It in a lot of ways resembles the grand piano that we know today, but it was much smaller than the grand piano and it had less dynamic levels than the piano that we know today, or even this one. The reason why the grand piano, or the pianoforte, or just the piano in general that we know, had dynamic levels was because whenever you played a key, like let's say I play this A hammer-like device would swing up and slam against the corresponding note, and the harder it struck the string, the louder the note was. So I can make a soft, quiet sound with this piano, or I can make a loud sound, depending on how hard I slam the keys. Before the pianoforte was invented, during the Baroque era, the harpsichord was the main keyed instrument used. And the harpsichord, unlike the piano or the pianoforte, did not have dynamic levels. The reason of being is because whenever you played a key, instead of a hammer swinging up and striking a string, a needle-like plectrum would actually come up and pluck the corresponding string. So you could not get any dynamic level changes, no matter how hard or how soft you played the keys. In fact, if you actually slammed your fingers on the key of the harpsichord, you would actually break the harpsichord, so don't do that. Alright, so now back to our conversion of I'm a Little Teapot into a Baroque song. So for our instrument setting, we're going to switch from the piano to the harpsichord setting. See? Just like that. Alright, now that we have our harpsichord, our keyboard in a harpsichord setting, silly easy. Now that we have our keyboard in a harpsichord setting, we will now move on to another important aspect or quality of Baroque music. Is instead of playing for the accompaniment, instead of playing block chords in root first and seconded version, we are now going to go down the octave and play power chords, which are root, fifth, and octave. Like so. But more importantly, we are going to play broken power chords, like the reason being for broken power chords was at the time of the Baroque period, most music was polyphonic, or like somewhat more polyphonic than the music that we know today. Of course, not all Baroque music, though. I can think of a number of counterexamples to polyphonic Baroque music. But what polyphonic is, in case you're wondering, is two or more independent melodies moving about each other and harmonizing in the process. So these broken chords make the song seem somewhat polyphonic as opposed to block triads. Another important step to make, though, is to know the kind of melodies with Baroque music. For example, a lot of Baroque music tended to have a lot of passing tones, like a lot of passing tones in the main melody. Instead of sounding like this, we are going to play straight eighth notes with passing tones in between each note. Instead, it should sound something like this. Likewise. Oh, and also we can also be creative too and add some trills and staccato notes too, which was the reason why a lot of Baroque music played this, because those staccato notes and trills really ring out in the harpsichord, unlike the piano that we know today, such as... Alright, since we now have our both our polyphonic accompaniment with broken power chords and the passing tone melodies, let's put those together and see how that sounds. I don't know about you guys, but I personally thought that sounded great. Well, thanks for watching it, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I can continue to make more enjoyable content for you guys, though. Once again, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later, in the near future. Bye-bye!